Hi everyone, my name is Phaedra and welcome back. I have been flower farming for the past 4 years, and this season I am growing flowers and vegetables, and I love to take you along for the ride and share the journey, also to share a little bit about life here in Australia. Today I'm in a beautiful Lilac Grove. The scent of these gorgeous flowers is amazing. It's a bit of a shame that they don't last for very long. The season for lilac flowers is quite short, a couple of weeks at the most, while they're looking really good. So I'm out here picking some to try to make the most of it. There are always a whole heap of sort of mundane, repetitive tasks on the farm, and one of them is watering and keeping the little seedlings alive. And then of course just a whole host of everyday chores, including the laundry. And here in Australia we typically hang our washing out on a line, just like this. I really find a joy in this. I really enjoy bringing in the laundry. It smells beautiful. I can't really describe the smell. It just smells very, very fresh, and it's been blowing in the outside air all day. There's really nothing quite like it, and using a dryer definitely doesn't have the same effect. So the garden plan. This is how our garden looks now. It is fairly standard, just in rows, and it's actually very easy because it is in rows. I feel like the basic layout has been perfect, particularly for a small scale flower farm, and this was enough room for us to grow enough flowers to support ourselves through the growing months, I'll say. If we had to put more effort in, maybe we could have grown through the winter as well, but it really wasn't worth the stress for us. We just purchased from a wholesaler. So the garden served a purpose, and it's looking very overgrown now. Like, it's very, very overgrown. The garden beds that I worked on over winter are still looking great. They're still intact. There's hardly any weeds, and I'm going to work on weeding this afternoon. But with the changes to our business and the changes to the channel, so this whole year has been kind of a bit of a rough ride, but at the same time, it's been a really good chance for us to reflect on what are we doing and what do we want to do. I've got some other videos deep diving into that where I talk about it a bit more. I'll link those in the description below if you're interested. But now the direction that we've been led in is the garden. I'm growing more vegetables. You know, cost of living's really high. Anything we can offset is going to help. And I love growing. And I used to have a vegetable garden. We used to grow. I remember years ago, I was growing enough vegetables that our food bill every week was $70 for a family of 4 back then. So it was pretty good. So I want to get back to that. The cost of living's pretty well doubled at this point, but let's see, look, can we get our food bill down to $70 a week? Imagine if we can. Or should I be more realistic and say $140 a week? Let's say that. Let's say $150 a week. That would be the goal. Can we at one point in this season only spend $150 on groceries for a family of 5 for an entire week? That could be the little side quest. But in saying that, there is no need for me to now have just these huge expanses of rows. And what I've come up with at this point is I want to change plot 1 around a little bit, because when you walk into the field, come through the gate, and we are faced with the corner of the field. And my plan is I'm going to cut the corner off and put an entry gate here. So this is how we enter onto the flower field, flower and veggie field. And so the plan is, and I'll talk you through it now, I'll just show you. You can see that plot 1 is now cut in half, kind of diagonally, because here's the gate and a walkway that goes up. Because I kind of imagined this back area here to have sort of a patio feel. And in future, I'd like to get a rotunda or a pergola up in this area. But this gives us our beautiful entry and then a pathway up through plot 1, which will be through here. So this will be the new entry, and it would walk straight up through there. So it's a little bit of work for this season. What I'm going to do to begin with is I'm just going to put some star pickets in and mark out where that path's going to be, figure out my path, and for now I just won't plant anything where the path's going to be. So that's the plan. And then when you're looking down the aisle between plot 1 and plot 2, I'll show you right up the back. So this will have a gate here, and then you'll look down the 2 aisles, which is here, and up in the back there will be my little garden shed. And the reason I'm pushing it way back is because we want this whole field, the ability to drive a car around the whole side, so we can get around to the compost area, which will be up behind. You can see a frame here for a shade tunnel. The compost area will be up behind there. We want to be able to just drive past and dump things if we need to. And from this gate, which won't be as fancy, I don't think, you'll just have an access point and you'll see straight up towards my little shed, which I need to build. I'd love to just be able to go and buy one, but it's going to have to be one that we DIY. We'll either do it out of corrugated iron, which is very Australian, or if I do it out of timber or something, I'll paint it blue like the house. So those are the cool plans. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. The other thing I'm really excited about is I've finally settled on the fencing plan, which is pretty much where the fence is right now as it is. The back area over the back here, we might walk around so you can see. Side note, I have to actually watch where I'm walking because snakes are out, and I'm right near a body of water and they love that. So I'm just looking around for snakes as I go. I do have my boots on. So you can see there's a junk pile here. Zoom it in for you. It's concrete and dirt and bulbs and stuff. We need to clean that up a little bit because the fence line will actually line up with the side of this shade house. It'll go straight down the back, so there'll be a little bit of room in the beds behind the final row. Wow, that was close. And there's lots of other plans, like I've got to put arbors in and trellises, add height and dimension to the whole thing. And then down the track we'll start adding some more like hard landscaping, like maybe some nice paving and things like that. But for now, I guess for me it just takes time to get my head around an idea of exactly what I want, and I just won't move forward on it until I know that it feels right, that this is what we need to do. So that's what we're doing, and I'm so excited. I'll take these plans back to the house, go grab my gloves, and we're going to do a couple of hours weeding before I need to go and pick up the kids. Plot 1 is weeded. It is the perfect day today. I want to come and show you how the field looks now. It looks really good. It's all been burnt off, and I'll show you the old section that's now covered in grass. So it won't take long before it looks really good. We just got to keep on top of it now so it doesn't get bad again. But the men did an awesome job of that. And then I need to clean up the growing area, whatever we're calling that. We might have to like run a competition or something to come up with a name for that. Let's get into it. I'm going to take 20 seconds to tell you about my shop. I've got the Husband Pie tees, the Be Mindful tees, and the 2025 wall calendars with beautiful photography that I've taken around the farm. There are lots of different payment options, and I've been getting really nice feedback from people who have purchased. Thank you so much. It's now active snake season, so we've got the boots on. We do have a couple of snakes up around the dam up here. You might see them. Go have a look. Okay, as you can see, it's very charred, but it looks so good. You can actually see the paddock. While I'm pulling apart these rows, I'm left with these long lengths of row cover. So what we're going to do is braid them. But essentially what you want to do, and it's easier facing the other way, so we'll turn around in a second. You want to make a loop like this, just wrap it around, and then you grab a piece and you pull it through the loop, and that starts things off, and then you just keep going. So you've got your loop, grab, pull, put your hand through the loop, grab, pull that through the loop, and you keep going. Down. That took so long. I really had them on strong. Let's just say that. Now I'm going to go pick up, I've picked up all the bricks and things. I'm going to go around now and pick up all those nets, hang them on the fence, and then I guess we'll go start up the whippersnipper, and then I'll do that for a few hours. Oh, you know, we came out and burnt with the weed burner, and we weren't very impressed with it, but now 2 days later I'm starting to think it might have been a good idea. The edge that we burnt, when we first did it, we were like, oh, it's so bad because it's so charred. But look, at this point we can't use it because we've let the grass get too long. It's too much of a fire hazard, so I need to whip a snip this time anyway. So I'll continue on with the plan as planned for right now. We'll get that done. But yeah, it looks much more open, and the reason I'm doing this is I need to get the permanent fencing in, so I need all this taken down so I can make the string lines for the new fence and mark all of that out, and we can just access it easier. Second reason, the animals are getting in anyway now. These nets aren't keeping anything out. They've been here for just over a year and it's just not working anymore. They're broken. And the third thing is I can't stand the look of them anymore. They're so ugly. And I thought, I'm getting a really late start on this season. Considering I have hardly anything in the garden, now's a good time.
This business up, and I'm really proud of what
I'm not done, but I've run out of line and I don't know where Moroni keeps it. It's just a bit frustrating. We need to hurry up and build a tool shed because years ago I had spots for everything. You are not going to believe this. I was just walking past and the reason I freaked out is because water just started bubbling out of the ground. It's right here. It's here. My neighbour Pat has had this thing. He knew that there was a line that went from the dam down to the house and he just had it in him. He just had to find it. So he's found the end up at the dam and he's flushing water through it to try to see where it comes out. It's now stopped the bubbling. Pat's going to go back. He's walking up the back there. I don't know if you can see him behind me there. Not really. Where's he gone? There he is. He's walking back. He's gonna try and reprime the pump because it stopped bubbling and I've got to put a stake right where it is so we can dig it out properly. But what this means is, the reason it was advantageous for us to find this was that's a direct line from that spring-fed dam right to the house, well, to the house yard, and that spring-fed dam never loses level. It's a spring-fed dam. So it's continuous water. Even when we're in drought, it's full of water. So as long as things keep going the way they are with the underground water up there, we will have constant water. I can't believe that right at the moment when I walked past is when it spurted out of the ground. That was scary. I can hear under the ground bubbling. Yeah, I can hear it. Here it is. It's there. It is right there. Yeah. Oop. Got it! Found it. There it is. So how's that for feeling overwhelmed at the start of, well, not even the start of spring, feeling overwhelmed in spring with everything we have to do, all the weeds, all the mess, and now we've got a pump project. It is an unexpected blessing though, to be able to get water from that dam so easily. So to say I'm chuffed is an understatement.